Okay, I'm gonna make a video here. I'm gonna start off with this these two mother effers over here. When I moved into that apartment there, I've said it before that it had roaches, and everything was broken in there. The doors, the carpets were all ripped, and it had roaches, right? Well, they sent this nasty SOB over here, tatted up, a freak over here, okay? They made a big old scene. I never got no notices that I was about the bird feeding or anything until after that I filed that complaint, and they were charged with discrimination. And they were being investigated for the investigation, and then for discrimination, and it got escalated to retaliation because of the cameras. I was being threatened that I was going to be given a citation for having that camera on my truck. Well, first of all, Mr. Juice with a mustache and the 4 eyes, Michael Cohen of KK Realty, head broker. You are not chorijete, okay? You are a broker. Why are you threatening me with a citation? And then you have all these other people that lived here before I did with outside cameras. There's cameras all over that property, okay? But since he was me, it was retaliated. He was retaliating. So then they send this SOB over here. This big, ugly, nasty fucking thing over here. And the jetoso, pestoso over here. He came into my apartment and he did like a hit and run. He came in through the door. This one came to change the filter. They were changing filters every month. That's like abusing the right to entry, all right? And then he was standing at the door, and then he comes in and he goes up the hall, and I was standing at the stove. I was fixing some shoes. So he goes up the hall, and the doors were close to the bathroom and to the bedroom. I had the dog in the bathroom. So he didn't open the door. He just went around the hallway like that, and then he just came into the kitchen behind where I was, and he put the can down. He put the can down, and then he picked it up, and he went out the door. So when he's coming down right here, I confront him. And I asked him, aren't you going to spray the rest of the place? You didn't spray the rest. And he had the audacity to stand right there and tell me, and get cocky mouthed with me and tell me, I sprayed your bathroom, I sprayed your whole house. That's what he told me. That's an apartment, you idiot. That's not a house. And I told him, you do realize I have cameras in there, right? No, you didn't, I told him. And he goes and tells me all sarcastic, yeah, well, you can just go check your cameras. So I didn't argue with him. I just let him say whatever. So then they proceed to go down the stairs. And then they go over to the penguinas. Okay, up over here on the upstairs. And go park themselves in there for about an hour. They were up in that penguina's apartment for about an hour. All right? What the hell were you doing up there for a whole damn hour? Oh, it was close to noon, you see here. It was already going to be noon. So then he comes down and he crosses the parking lot, and this apartment over here was empty. So this nasty puto pestoso over here used to go over there to spy on me from over there, and then the apartment upstairs was empty since the end of February of 2024. They owed like about close to $5,000 in rent. They weren't paying their rent. And then they were up there dealing drugs, pulling the stove out, pulling the refrigerator out, walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know what the hell they were doing so much in that damn kitchen. I kept hearing water being drained all the time. It stunk. And they wouldn't do anything, right? She tells me that Montecosa, that's that manager that they had in there with her hedgehog face, that they had their eyes on them. And then they would do drug deals there, and there was a lot of traffic going up and down those stairs. And then they would come with liquor boxes, and I'm suspecting that's how they were transporting the drugs. He came down one time, that guy, with a 5-gallon bucket, and that kind of scared me when I saw him doing that, because the tramp didn't work. That low-life loser didn't work. Another Mexican. They were Mexicans. So when I'm being asked, how do you know that they're Mexicans? Because I know, because they live there. How do you know? I was being questioned by the chorijete that was here in October. Yeah, but they go over there, they go over there and they go park themselves up over there with a penguin up there. in her apartment for an hour. And then, like I said, he comes down, he crosses, and then he leaves, goes that way, and leaves. And then this pestoso comes this way with a cart. Back up. Okay, this is that's the only time that they've ever come into my apartment to do. That was just a hit and run. And then they were going upstairs with those ones that were living up there right before they were going to move out. That other maintenance, that other one that did damage to my truck and was doing shit too. Stalking and doing shit to me too. And beating up his pregnant wife out here. Over here. Making a big old scene over here. In the parking lot here. Okay? They were going and doing, doing pest control in everybody else's apartments, but except for mine. And I would take them the roaches to the office in baggies. And I would complain about it, and they weren't doing it. They were just retaliating. Okay, now, when I moved in, I had that problem with that manager. You know, they moved me into this apartment like that, with all those problems there. They were already retaliating and doing their shit there. It was already going on. I just wasn't aware of it. And then all the meters were against this wall here by my bedroom. All the meters. That manager that they had there, well, they come in to do the filters and the entertainment center. I just had to put the TV down so they could change the filter. And I would be like, what's the big deal about them coming in here every month? See, I wasn't told any of that when I moved in. They were going to be in my apartment every month to change filters and to be spying, because that's like abusing your right to enter. That's a big abuse. Well, he came in December giving me dirty looks. I mean, the minute he walked in the door, giving me dirty looks. And then he started harassing me about my TV and about getting back there. And he had already been in there, like twice before. He knew that TV was there. And the other maintenance that they had before they hired that other skinny son of a bitch. He had already been back there. They never had no problems afterwards either. Anyway, he just left the filter against the entertainment center, so I changed it. And then I noticed that he was writing the date on it. And I said, why is he writing the date on the filter? That's weird, you know. Why is he writing the date on it? And then I told him that the heater didn't work. So he tells me that he'll send the maintenance come and change it out, that it was 10 years old. Well, anyway, I went and I changed the filter, and then I went to go to the office to go take him the old filter, and I saw him coming out of his apartment. And I said, here you go. I just came to give you the filter to show you that I changed it. And he got on his high horse and he started talking all kinds of shit. He goes, well, are you? I'm not insinuating. He started, they tell on themselves. You haven't accused them of anything, but they start getting all defensive right away. And then he walked behind me to the dumpster to go throw that filter, and he told me he was going to write me up. And I turned around and I said to myself, write me up for what? Well, I come to find out that he's abusive. All these managers that they have are abusive. And that goes for the head broker. They're all abusive. So I told him that's fine. I said, I'll just go call legal aid, because when I heard that, I know what that means. And see, I had already got into the office the month before to ask for that reserved parking. I asked for a sign to be put there that says reserved with my apartment number on it, and they never put me that. They put me this sign over here, and they had the same sign all over in 12 other places of the property. Okay? So I would have to drag a cone there and shit like that when I would leave and come back and pull the cone, because I'm not going to go into all the drama that was going on there. They have this Venezuelan little hands in his pockets fat pig over here. One day I was gone, and he came and parked over here, and then he came and he took the cone off and came and put it up here, and then walked all smug with his hands in his pockets. So I filed a police report against him for doing that, because that cone had been given to me by that Montecosa in the office to put there. All right, they were waiting to put the sign, and then when that other skinny son of a bitch in maintenance put the sign, I was at the doctor's and I had to leave, and they were waiting for me to come back. I got an email so I could move my truck back. And that skinny asshole, he went and he put it on, and then he kicked the damn pole. He was doing it with a lot of anger. He was putting it in there, and then he kicked the damn pole and he hit my brand new bumper, because that bumper is brand new. He kicked the damn pole into my bumper. Okay, now I'm gonna get to the part with a head broker and his brother coming over here and posing as the meter man. Let's see, there they go. If I pull that other, there they go right there, the two. Okay, they're on their way over there to the penguina up here. They're on their way up to her apartment up there. All involved in the gangstalking, okay? The so-called, they stole their truck. Okay. So there's the notice that they sent out to us, dated November 12, 2024. And basically they're saying that in the letter that they're going to be out here, they're going to be people coming to check the outside water meters at 2 a.m. on Thursday and Friday morning. Please be advised that they will have flashlights and going to each meter by each building. So for us not to be, alarmed if we see them outside. Well, who comes to do that? What meter men do you know of that comes at 2 o'clock at that time, at 2 o'clock in the morning? And not to remove the flags. Well, I found that rather strange when they sent this notice out. Okay, now I'm going to show you who the meter man is. Hold on. Okay. 11/14/2024 at 12:38, at almost 12:39. I had just come back inside from coming from that direction, away at the end over there, going to see where those flags are. Look who you have coming here. You have the Montecosa, and then you have your meter men. Okay, I'm going to show you who your meter men are. Okay, these two right here. Now when they get, see how they're looking over here? And then when they get over here, see how she's doing her mouth? How she has her mouth sucked in? That's indicative of somebody that's concealing. Okay? Concealing something. Like, And they're looking over towards my apartment, see? Okay, let me pull it up over here. So there they are, they pass right here. And then there comes a pestoso, okay, looking over here. No, excuse me, looking over there towards my apartment. All right. Anyway, they get to the stair area right here. And then I hear one of them say, I came out to do something. Oh, I came out to get the bowl because, it's almost empty here. And when she was standing, this Montecosa was standing over here. When I opened the door, that's actually what happened. I heard one of them say, it's too bad that the staircase is right there because of the elements. Well, this one right here, I'm going to identify this one in a minute, likes to use that word elements. So when I heard that, I knew right away who it was. So they come over here, okay? Here they are over here in front of my window. And then the Montecosa disappears over there. Here she is. Here they are. And then here's the skunk over here. The Cognos skunk over here. She comes with some what do you call it? Rolled up. Like property. What do you call it? The property. With the drafts of the, I don't know what the hell you call it. And this one goes over here. Is Montecosa over here? Goes stand over here. And there he is over here. Okay. And then that other one disappears. Okay, this one disappears over here. Let's play the video. There he goes there. And watch what he goes to go do, play the part over there. Okay. And they're always playing their damn part. They like to go that way, and that's what they do. And then he'll come back, and then he gets over here, and then the video, it cuts off. When he gets over here to the end, over here, he like lunges forward to look over here towards my apartment. Okay, there's nothing there. See how he's lunging forward there? Now he has his sunglasses on. Okay, there he is. And then he goes that way. Then he disappears that way. Okay, go there, he goes that way. Now I'm gonna pull up this part right here and show you how hilarious this idiot over here. Watch what he does. And then the dog's barking, it's kind of dark there. Watch, let me see. Watch, I think it's right here. Watch what he starts doing. There's absolutely no reason to be doing anything right there. See, she's holding the let me see if it's here. It's hilarious what this idiot. Over here, there's nothing there. Over here. Okay. With his little flashlight there, they're just playing the part right there, doing nothing, just playing the part. And here he comes. Here comes this pestoso over here. See that ugly, hideous creature there? See the nose? Okay. That other manager that they hired, I don't know, according to, see, the plans are over there. She goes and disappears the Mantecosa that way. I'm told that they put her to be responsible for doing the hiring, seeing that people, they can get them in, approving them. And then they hired this other walking skeleton. And she was coming and getting into that hole there. I don't know what the hell they were doing inside that hole so much. Carrying a clipboard. And then that pestoso was coming, and then I was zooming up the clipboard, and there was absolutely nothing on that clipboard. The paper on that clipboard was blank, and then he would hold the pencil and pretend to be writing on it. And then he was always in that apartment upstairs. Now, that apartment upstairs was vacated at the end of November of 2024. Until I moved out of there last year, it was still empty. And then I was told, not me because I blocked him, that if I was sure that I was going to go and because there was a waiting list. Well, there was a waiting list, and why hadn't you rented that apartment there? And those people that lived up there were selling drugs up there and manufacturing drugs up there. I'm not going to go into all the crap that I have of them, what they were doing up there. And they left out of there, and they were evicted. They tried to evict them out of there multiple times. And finally got rid of them out of there. But they were being allowed to do a lot of things right along with that other maintenance that they had. Anyway, it's too much talking. But let me see if you continue here and we can see what this idiot does. He'll go over here and he'll start with a crowbar. Or I don't know what the hell, start raking at the rocks there. I don't know if he's already done it. And I'm like, what are you doing? See, they're just hanging around there. There goes that ugly cock nose there. It must have been before that he's there. Um, he's just there, you know, with a crowbar, just going to town on the damn rocks over here. Just going and going, raking the rocks over here. It must have been before, because the rock gravel's disturbed. Raking the damn rocks with a crowbar. Okay. I was like, I can't understand. What is this idiot doing? Okay, well, let me show you. And then she would walk around back here, this ugly coke-nosed skunk over here with her Zia. And she was always tugging on her. See, there she is there, tugging on her. And looking into my patio. This was the day before that they showed up. She was back here. All right. Well, let me introduce you to their meter man. Okay, let me introduce you to who their meter men are. That's your meter man right there. That's Michael Colton. That's the head broker in Arizona. For Arizona, Nevada, and New Mexico. And then get this. This was brought up to HUD that he claims to give classes in fair housing. Well, if you give classes in fair housing, then why are you discriminating then? And then meet your other meter man. Me, there's the bald fuck right there. There's the other one. And then that Montecosa told me that I sent him an email and he ignored me. That he had retired and that his daughter had taken over. That's what she told me. Property manager, see? Those are your meter men. And I strongly suspect, since I was given a 2-year right to sue letter, that this four-eyed mustached psychopath over here, because that's exactly what he is, hired a private investigator. He already had the chorijetes involved, for this town involved. Okay? Because when I came over here, because of all the crap that I was catching over here. These SOBs walking around over here, and they just smell like chorizo. They just smell like chorizo, and then catching them with my picture on their screen, walking little baby huskies and baby dog huskies, and then getting the tenants over here to be taking pictures of me. But there's your meter men. Okay, those are your meter men. You there? Okay. Now, who that other SOB was with that hat that was walking around back there eating sunflower seeds, and then the landscaper showed up to come and kill the birds. There you go. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna get to this other video here, but right before I moved out. Hold on, let me get it on, put it on pause. What was done for 2 hours straight. Just about every 5 minutes, this immigrant, migrant, whatever he is, because they're immigrant, migrant lovers around there, right along with the chorijetes. This town is a sanctuary city. Okay? And they were being allowed to get away with all kinds of things over there. And then I got on the KK Realty website a while ago, and then I got onto that Santerra website, the reviews there. They're discriminating against other people who are disabled. And they have a lot of very bad reviews. So you're sending people to investigate me and hack into my devices. They were already hacked into my devices to dig up my past. Well, whatever you dig up about when my past doesn't have anything to do with housing discrimination. Okay, it doesn't have anything to do with housing discrimination, and I really don't care. It doesn't have anything to do with that. And then watching a video earlier too, I was watching some private, he's like a cleaner, or I don't know what the hell he calls this, a seeker or something. They go around looking for people, for ex-friends or friends of yours and your family, to go get information about you from them. That has nothing to do with housing. That has nothing to do with what you were charged with. And then not only that, when I moved in there, I asked for that accommodation, right? And immediately I was retaliated against. He tried to get rid of me out of there. But I'm not going to go into it, all the messes that were done to me by that one crazy effing manager that they had there. He even called me, had the audacity to call me fucking crazy on the phone. Charging me for legal fees and for putting a paper in the door. Harassing me about the filter door. Accusing me of interfering. You know, that they had that planned. You know, they had put that shit to try to start trouble. Okay? To get me out of there so they didn't have to do it. And then I don't know what happened with him, but they fired his ass out of there or he left. And they just proceeded on and on from there, and then they got that Mantecosa to work there. And then right after they got their greetings, that's when the stalking started. All the shit started. And then this four-eyed mustache motherfucker talking all kinds of shit to me on the through emails. I didn't even want to talk to him. I didn't want him bothering me. Gave you your chance and you blew me off. You and your district manager and your other managers, you blew me off, and I didn't want to have nothing to say to you anymore. Just deflecting and just sending them to do all this crap. And then that puto pestoso maintenance, that's the main one right there, and then getting the other 10s around there involved too. All the evidence that I have of what you were doing. See, but I wasn't aware to the full extent that I am now that that's what was going on. Now I am. And then calling me a paranoia with everybody living their normal life. Well, I'm going to show you now. If this looks normal to you. Hold on as I pull it up. Okay, before I go on to show you what this idiot did over here. Now, like I mentioned before, that HUD discriminated against me too. They messed up. They fucked up. Okay, they fucked up big time. I asked for a sign to be put there with my apartment number, and it wasn't put there. And they lied. And then they discriminated against me, and I told that broker, that mustache with 4 eyes, that it was biased, and I told him what they did, and he didn't like that, and then he didn't like it that he was blocked. And he was blocked before, because, he sent that thing, that coke-nosed skunk, because that's what she looks like, a coke-nosed skunk, to come and take that bird bowl out of there. They never told me they didn't want me feeding the birds. They made a lot of scenes there. They did a lot of shit there. Okay? I wasn't doing anything there. He didn't say that I couldn't. I kept everything clean there. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and I was accused of all kinds of things there. There's no evidence of anything. None. They just pulled their little clown shows there. And then he accused me of having bird feeders in the trees. I don't have bird feeders hanging in the trees. And then he tells me that I can hang the bird feeders on the patio. Well, isn't that the same thing, you idiot? Because that's what your Mantecosa manager called you, an idiot. That you're losing it. And I have her recorded saying it. Okay? And then not only did they do that to me, but the first time when I was retaliated against and I was given a write-up for interfering, I was threatened. He wanted me to move that big entertainment center when he knew that. All you have to do is put the TV down and get into that filter door like that, just reach over. But to harass me, to get rid of me, and then he charged me all this money for legal fees to put a paper in the door. He tried to stir up all kinds of trouble and then called me fucking crazy. I never, you extorted money out of me. That's what you did. You extorted money out of me. And then called me fucking crazy. No, the one that's fucking crazy is you. All of you. The one that are fucking crazy, that goes for all your maintenance. Because all the shit that your maintenance were doing to, especially that other one before this pestoso. And I'm going to get to that pestoso in a minute. That other one. Okay? He damaged the door to my truck. He was brushing his dog one day and he threw the fur all into my patio, all over the birds' water bowl, all over their food. He was standing over there on the bedroom window, pointing his cell phone into my camera, making faces. He would pass there. He would make, distort his face at the camera. He was doing all kinds of shit. All right. So this is what went on right before I moved out. Okay, this started about what, 8 o'clock, right before 9 o'clock. This little immigrant, migrant, whatever the fuck it is, little fucking parasite over here with his phone. He went around and around that building over here for 2 hours, exactly 2 hours. And then he kept going around and around that the motion detection stopped going off on the camera. It just stopped working. And then when I pulled the footage up, he was standing over here, whispering on the phone. He was standing over here, concealing himself and whispering. So this is the time that he starts out right here, at almost 9 o'clock. Here we go. 8:50. 8:56. There he is, 9:02. Okay. There he goes. 9:07, and then he just stands right there. 9:13? 9:19. And then he just stands right there in front of my patio. 9:24 with a damn cell phone. 9:30. 9:36. 9:41. 9:47. 9:52. 9:58. 10:04. 10:08. 10:12. 10:17. 10:23. 10:28. 10:24. 10:39. 10:46. And he stands right there in front of my patio. And this is the last time he comes back at almost 11 o'clock, 10:51. Now, does that look like somebody living their normal life to you? Does that look normal to you? And then they would be passing through here real close to my balcony here, or they will walk over here carrying great big, huge backpacks. Okay, great big, huge backpacks. And then I had a video for Christmas where I felt that Virgo, like that, like I had been struck with an energy weapon. I have a feeling that he was that rat face next door to me. Somebody hit me with something. When I was going out, it was on Christmas Day with my dog down the sidewalk. I had to stop and I made the video. I didn't know anything about energy weapons or anything like that. I got so sick I thought I was gonna vomit right there. When I got to the end of the sidewalk, I got so disoriented, so weak. Like my head felt weird. Like I couldn't catch my balance. I lost my balance. I got like kind of scared because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Why I was feeling like that. All right, hold on. Let me show you now what's up next, and you tell me if that looks normal to you. Now here comes this putorón pestoso over here. Coming with a notice for the upstairs there. Here he comes. Okay, there he goes up the stairs. Now you'll see his shadow coming there on the... Okay. Now. I gotta go back. Now he's coming down the stairs here, and watch what he's doing. He's grabbing his damn dick. Watch. I'm going the wrong way. Okay. And he was always doing that. Always doing that and looking at the camera and looking at my apartment. There. 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 Okay. See that? And there he goes that way. Okay, now let's come over here. Because we gotta go this way. Now there he goes. Stay there. Stay there. And there. Stay there. Hey. You ugly son of a bitch. See that? In there. See? Karma's a bitch, you ugly, Nephilim red fucking ugly son of a bitch and smelly bitch. Okay. All right. Okay. Does that look to you like people living their normal lives? Because I was accused of having a paranoia of everybody living their normal lives. That look normal to you? Does that look normal to you? To be doing shit like that, does that look normal to you? Or to be standing over here and making out with gooseneck dudes? Well, I'm gone. Standing over here to be making out and then to be looking over the gooseneck dude's shoulder at the camera at my door. Or to be standing over here. Over here. And doing it over here too, and then looking over the gooseneck dude's shoulder and looking at the camera that's over here on the window while you're doing it. Okay? All right. Okay.